Hey buddies, friends, all that. I wanted to say that we are not screwing up our kids. A lot of my friends on here are going to be energy workers and people who work with other people in regressive type therapies. Now, one of the things when I was training, the most terrifying thing I remember thinking was, oh my goodness, all the traumatic things that were coming up for me when I was in training and I was indeed getting regressive therapy with EFT and Matrix and things was, oh my God, like all these memories were coming up that had obviously scarred me beyond, and there I am thinking, oh my goodness, I knew I had 0 to 2 all right, but 2 to 6, what have I done? Right? And I was literally racking my brains thinking of every single time I'd ever looked the wrong way or shouted, or you think, oh goodness, every single way I can be messing up my kids. I must have done it, and I'm not a particularly shouty, controlly over kids type person. And yet I remember thinking, if I got so messed up because of a birthday party when I was 3 and nothing terrible happened, and yet from the age of 3 to 39 actually, I hated birthdays, what have I done? Right? And then I had to calm down a bit, right? Because it's one of those really nuts things that you think you're messing your kids up, right? But you will absolutely never, ever, ever know how you're messing your kids up. Like just being, there's my little alarm telling me. I have anchor alarms telling me how great I am. In case I forget to write my goals, yeah, I have alarms that go off. Hi, oh, hello, Vicky. I have alarms, oh, this is sad. I have alarms that go off reminding me of what my goals are so that I can be really lazy in my goal setting. Just saying. Anyway, right, so we're not messing our kids up, right? You might disagree with me, but yeah, so when we think of all the things that we might be doing, might have done, when you try and think through your kids' eyes, what have I done to mess them up? What have I done that when they're getting therapy in the future is going to come round and is going to be the problem? And really, firstly, you will have, my mum would never have known, for example, you can correct me, if you ever watched this, mum, you can correct me, that a 3-year-old's birthday party would have caused what it did. She had no idea. And really she had who knows what's going to affect us, because that little thing affected me a lot more than some big stuff. And when we talk about traumatic events, we always think, oh my goodness, what traumatic event was it divorce? Was it moving house? Was it, oh my God, I never made them birthday cakes, or was it a car crash? You have no idea. Or was it that their favourite toy that you promised to sew up, you just never did, and so they forever thought that everything they're going to ask for is never going to be given? You are never going to know what is going to cause trauma in your kids. Never. Okay? The simple fact is that it's going to happen whatever you do. So you obviously don't want to cause big traumas. But traumatic events aren't necessarily what we think they are. In fact, the big traumas, the ones that are memorable, are sometimes a lot easier to shift. I'm talking from from when I have my clients, they know that that's a big trauma for them, so we kind of can clear that. The little things are more tricky. But I'd like you just to, right, even if you're not entirely on the same page as me here, I'd like you to just indulge in this thought process just for a minute, okay? Because this will actually help you, because this is where I'm coming from, and all the training and all the experiences I've had, as in sort of, on the kind of quantum realm as well. So I've gone into my past lives, I've regressed into past lives, I've taken clients into past life regression, this life as children as well, and I've taken to future stuff as well. So we are on a massively long timeline. And just for a moment, think of you as your children having chosen to be born to you. Okay, this is okay. So if you can think, okay, so when you're going to have babies and things, so well, I'm your children, the souls that your children are, choose to be born to you. Okay, so let's go back a bit further than that and think, well, actually, so they're, okay, stay with me, I'm not too kooky, I promise. I'm quite woo-woo in some ways, but I do base things quite heavily in logic. Most of what I do is logical. So before that, you think, okay, so where's their soul? So their soul is in a soul group. So I 100% believe, mainly because I have experienced my previous lives, and I've also gone down my ancestral lines as well as my own timeline, right? So if you imagine you've got a line, how come I don't have anything straight in line like? Okay, timeline, okay? So say your soul's timeline, you may be wherever you are here somewhere. So you've had lots of other lives going down here, okay? So your children have too. They've also got their own time and they've got their own journey. Yes, you are here to assist them in the first part of their journey, but you are not the be-all and end. Sorry to tell you this, folks. We are not the be-all and end-all in our kids' lives. No, they've chosen us for a reason, of which they probably have no idea right now why they've chose us. But they have chosen us. So they're here to learn lessons and they're here to teach, as we are here to learn and we are here to teach. You might have people who become parents probably think, oh my goodness, how much I've learned since having a child. So they're here to teach us and we're here to learn from them, and we're also here to help them and teach them too. But they have come here for a reason. So say that this is their time. We've all got a timeline that looks a little bit like a Bic pen. No, it's not a Bic even. That's okay, cool. Anyway, moving on. So say their soul has had several different lives. They're here to learn and ascend and to become, to enhance their soul. So they've gone up to their soul group, whoever that's with, and they come down and they pick you for a reason. So if you can, there's more to it than that, and I could go into it a lot more than that. But basically, but that's not kind of why. I just want to get you an idea that your children have got their own journey. Yeah, they're here and they are to learn different things, and they are different people to you. So firstly, when you think something is going to affect them, don't assume it has. Okay, ask the questions. Ask how they are. Ask if that, notice what's bothering them. And then also on the other side of it, which having had a relationship with somebody a couple of people who could not, people are quite sort of self-involved and sort of almost on the sort of narcissistic kind of trend. They do struggle to, if I don't understand it, then it doesn't exist. Yeah. So try to not put any of your own stuff on your kid's answers. So if your kid is upset, your child is upset, don't assume you know why, and don't assume that it's a big thing to you. And even if it seems like a little thing, their reaction will tell you the state at which it's. And the biggest thing I ever say to people, and I really really listen to this, so it's not what happened. Okay, any incident or anything that happens in our lives, it's almost like it really doesn't matter future-wise on this little timeline. It doesn't matter what happened in that moment. It really doesn't. Okay, what actually causes the trauma and what actually causes the change in behaviour and the change in the channels in our brain isn't the trauma itself. It just isn't. It's what we made it mean. Okay, so really, like, that is one of the most profound things I ever learned. And you might go, oh, whatever, shut up. But it took me a while to really take it on. So it is nothing to do with what happened. That's why some guys can go, okay, let's take PTSD, for example, because EFT is incredible for veterans with PTSD. But say, for instance, a guy goes to war, it comes back after 3 days, PTSD, okay? There's another person who does 10 tours, still doesn't have PTSD. Unlikely, but he doesn't. How are those two people different? And is it any worse for one than the other? No, it's still a traumatic event. And I can go into the ins and outs of why it happens, but basically our brains are wired in a certain way to create beliefs and to store those beliefs in order so we don't get hurt. So it doesn't matter what has happened. It's not like it doesn't matter. It's not that causes all of these problems. It's not that causes pain and lingering self-doubt and the not enoughs, and it really is what we made it mean. It's the belief that we made in that moment. Yeah. So what in that moment happened? What did we make it mean? And then have we spent the rest of our lives believing that false thing because of the trauma that happened? So please, 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 whether it's your friend, your children or whatever, don't assume that what you feel about an event is what they feel. And don't assume you're messing up your kids. We all have that privilege of being the people who maybe trigger the messing up of children, of our own kids. Yeah, we're there. We're the people who are there. But it really isn't about you. And we can't spend our whole time not doing something because we're worried about the effect, because they have their own journey, as do you. And they need to see stuff, like some stuff anyway, but they are on their own journey, and they chose you to go through this part of their journey with and alongside, and they chose to teach you, and they chose to be taught by you. So cut yourself some slack. You probably fuck up every day. Doesn't everybody fuck up every day? Doesn't everyone think, yeah, that maybe wasn't great? Okay, so there's things that I can teach to people to just deal with that. There's loads of tools in which to not let that ruin your next day. And there's also, are you just trying to sabotage yourself for some other reason? But that's a whole thing for another day. But I really just wanted you to feel better about, when we really aren't messing our kids up. It's their journey. And when they go through an event, what we call it actually is big T's, big traumas and little traumas. So big T, little t, big T. Big T's are the biggies. The death, rape, car accidents. Big traumas, big life-shaking traumas. That's the big ones. Little T's are someone nicked my biscuit. I wasn't allowed an ice cream. It's not that they're minimal, it's not that they don't matter. It's just that they're just little traumas that possibly keep being repeated. So there's two very different ways to deal with it. So, but the little traumas are going to happen, and you can't stop them. And actually, by trying to stop the little T's, by trying to make life perfect, you are in fact creating a problem somewhere else. Okay, so you don't know what your kids are taking out of life. You don't. So just be the best human you can. Fill up with love. Be honest, man. Be really honest with your kids. Tell age appropriately, should I say? But be honest with them. Tell them what's going on. Tell them about emotions. Show them how to feel. Yeah, show them you have emotions. Show them you mess up. Say you're sorry. Yeah, be a human. And don't be afraid to be human. Don't be afraid to mess up in front of your kids. And a lot of people just think, why would you say sorry to your kid? They're a kid. I'm like, because I messed up. Because, if I ever shout, I very rarely do, to be fair. But that's something I really had to understand and learn. If I shout at one of the kids, I say sorry. Not because the reason I say sorry is because I didn't want to react like that. Because I take total ownership over my actions, because I expect them to as well. So if I shout, then I am sorry for shouting. I don't go, well, I only shouted because you were a little knob. I don't say that. I think, well, I'm sorry I shouted. Whatever the situation, I'm sorry I shout. I don't want to shout, and that is not a reaction I want, so I'm going to go and work on that. Do you know what reaction I then get? I'm really sorry for being rude, Mom. 9 times out of 10. I don't expect it, but I don't expect the apology. I don't go, well, where's your apology then? Because it's nothing to do with me. So, you know, get a massive thing, you know, again, it's a whole thing for another day, is to teach them ownership of their own stuff, which does help, by the way, but that's a whole other thing. There's loads of things we can help our kids along the way by knowing that they're not responsible for other people's behaviour, but they are responsible for theirs. As are we all responsible for ours. Anyway, right now, go to bed knowing that your kids are on their journey and they picked you and you're doing a great job. And if there's stuff that you don't feel proud about today, say sorry. Say, I'm really sorry I did that. Or say, do you know what? These things happen. Tomorrow is a whole nother day. And go into tomorrow with a different headset on. Yeah, basically. So anyway, it's Sunday night. Peace out, guys. 9:30. Gosh, it's late. Yeah, so you're not messing with it. You're not messing your kids up. Unless you're purposely trying to, then I'd say stop doing that. Don't purposely try to hurt anyone. Most of us are trying to do the right thing, and most of us mess up, but do not forget they're on their own journey. All right, I hope that's helped some of you, because it really helped me when I learned that. So events, you cannot control what's going to affect anybody. You cannot decide what they're going to make it mean. So just be the best damn human you can be, knowing that you are human. Okay, and accept yourself exactly where you are at. That's really important, because if you accept you, then all of a sudden other people will too. Okay. So on that note of awesomeness, I'm really warm. And I can't take this off because I've got my pajamas on and they're kind of see-through. Not in any like weird way. I'm on my own. But I've got this hoodie on so that I don't look like I'm trying to like flaunt myself on face. Anyway, so I'm really warm. I'm going to have to go. But yeah, peace out, guys. And know that you're awesome. You're doing a great job. And yeah, don't worry about it. Okay? Smile and laugh a little bit more, and just fill up your heart with a bit more love if you can, and if you can't, a little bit more, and I will see you really soon. Any questions, by the way, any of this rings a bell with you, literally just give me a shout. I've got a great relationship with my kids, and they've been through some really big stuff, like divorce, leaving family behind. Yeah, they've been through some big stuff, and yet by allowing them to feel what they feel in the moment, which has surprised me sometimes, and not taking it personally. I know that they tell me anything, knowing that they won't hurt my feelings, because their stuff is their stuff, and I'm a grown-up. And if they feel something, even if it's towards me, I don't take it personally. This is them. So if ever you need anyone to talk to about parent stuff, about having a better relationship with your kids, let me know, because I've got a really good one, and I'm more than happily share some of my secrets. Well, they're not secrets, but I'll more than happily share my stuff. Anyway, so I will see you soon. Take super care of yourself. Enjoy the evening, what's left of it, and happy Monday for tomorrow. Much love, guys.